Hi everyone, my name is Nathaniel Boëchat and I'm a graduate from St. Lawrence University. And today I wanted to make a video on how to study more effectively from home. So I broke down the process of studying into 5 sections. The first is to create your ideal study spot. The second is to understand the material that you are studying. The third is to then memorize that material. The fourth is to apply your knowledge. And the fifth is to relax so you're ready to crush that exam on test day. Now, there's really 2 key pieces to studying at home, and one is to create your ideal study environment. So some people really enjoy studying in total quiet, while others enjoy having background noise. And I know right now we can't physically go to a coffee shop, but in this case, if you like the background noise of that, you can play ambient sound of a coffee shop or Starbucks or something by looking it up on YouTube and playing it through a speaker, so you simulate that environment. And 2 is to remove distractions. So for me, I know that number one thing if I'm trying to study is my phone, and followed closely by other people. If you're studying at home, you have to factor in your pets and family. So just make sure you have space to study on your own and not be distracted. So now that we've covered how to set up an ideal study spot at your house, let's talk about how you can study more actively while you are studying. And that's by actually writing handwritten notes and synthesizing the information in your own words. And this is important because it benefits you in increasing your retention and improving your teaching and testing abilities. Of course, some people might argue that, oh, well, this process is really time consuming. I don't have time to do that. Objectively, active studying takes more time, but you make up for this in the fact that you learn it up front and you don't have to restudy it. Passive studying, on the other hand, we all know what it is. It's just highlighting or rereading material and thinking that you know it because you recognize the terms, but if you're tested on it, you really probably don't understand it as well as you think. And the benefits of this, obviously, are that this takes less time and less mental effort, but the drawback is that you actually are not understanding what you're reading fully, and therefore you'll have lower retention and likely lower performance on test day. So to better understand the whole process of learning, I made a flowchart on what I call the cycle of learning. So you start with reading or listening to a lecture or watching some sort of video, and while you're doing this, you're going about taking notes. So the process of taking notes is an active study process. It's not the best, but it's better than just watching with no notes. And now you work to condense and understand those notes. After you do that, you go and you fill in the knowledge gaps later, not the same hour later that day. Once you've fully understood the material, you can go and actually memorize the material through active recall and spaced repetition, which I will explain momentarily. And then after that, you apply the knowledge to practice questions. And finally, you either test yourself or you teach others that topic, and the cycle repeats as those people that you are teaching now listen to you and take notes. Now, in terms of using this study cycle to apply your knowledge and study for finals, you want to do the same things. You start with actually reviewing the material and understanding everything fully so that you can then memorize that material. That's step 2. You memorize what you've now understood, and you do this using active recall and spaced repetition. So essentially, active recall is when you look at a flashcard term and you have to come up with the answer in your head without looking at the back. And this process of struggling to remember what it is what strengthens the connection the most. So you can do this using either Anki or Quizlet. Anki has the built-in spaced repetition in the app, but you can also do this yourself, just reviewing your notes multiple times over multiple days so that you're really retaining it into long-term memory as opposed to just cramming material the day before the exam. And then once you've learned all the material, you can go ahead and apply your knowledge to practice questions like old exams, or you can make up questions for yourself. And then finally, make sure you take time off. I love to take the day before the exam off, especially if you've been studying for like a week. Take the time off, you know the material, Just relax, you'll do well. It's already in your brain. Along the same lines of relaxing and taking breaks, make sure to maintain other aspects of your health while you're studying. So make sure you get enough sleep. I mean, the average amount of sleep that you're supposed to get for a teenager to adult is anywhere from 7 to 9 hours. Make sure you exercise daily, and make sure you actually take breaks, because if you study 6 hours straight, even though it feels like maybe you're doing something, in reality, you're really tired and your efficiency goes way down. And especially when you're trying to use these intense study techniques, you need that energy. So study in 30-minute to 2-hour blocks. So another key point I want to make here is that studying well and effectively is really a mental workout. It's a lot of effort to do. So when you're doing that, you need to consider some of the results. One is that more repetitions of studying the same content generally equals greater results. However, there are diminishing returns where if you study something 10 times, you're not really going to know it any better than if you had just studied it 3 to 5 times. So in terms of managing your time, it's best to just study something effectively 3 to 5 times and then stop and just allow yourself to admit that you understand it and you can move on. So to summarize everything that I covered in this video, one was we learned how to create a good study spot at your house that is distraction-free and free of clutter so that you can do a lot of work efficiently. 2 was to work to understand the material that you're studying. 3 was to then memorize that material, followed by 4, which is applying your knowledge to practice questions and practice exam questions. And then finally, just have fun, relax, and use your newfound studying efficiency to have more free time in your day. So I just wanted to say thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting more content related to research, studying, just tips from undergrad that I learned now that I've graduated. I'm kind of reflecting back. Go ahead, drop the video a like, and thanks so much for watching.